I never believed in ghosts until I moved into that old house on Elm Street. The realtor assured me it was a charming fixer-upper with a rich history, but as soon as I stepped inside, an eerie feeling washed over me. I chalked it up to the house's age and paid it no mind. It started innocently enough. Odd noises in the middle of the night, doors slamming shut when there was no breeze. I thought I was just paranoid, but as the days passed, the occurrences escalated. I'd wake up to find furniture moved, objects misplaced, and sometimes I'd catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure out of the corner of my eye. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed help. After researching local paranormal experts, I found an exorcist named Father O'Connor. He had a reputation for dealing with the most stubborn spirits, and I desperately hoped he could rid my home of whatever was tormenting me. Father O'Connor arrived on a stormy evening, his tall figure cloaked in a long black coat. His piercing blue eyes seemed to see right through me as he greeted me with a somber smile. I led him inside, my heart pounding in my chest, fearing what he might uncover. "Tell me about the things you've experienced," Father O'Connor said in a deep, calm voice. I hesitated, trying to find the right words to explain the unexplainable. As I recounted the strange occurrences, he listened attentively, nodding occasionally as if he understood more than I did. "It sounds like you have a malevolent spirit in your home," he finally said. "But fear not, I've dealt with worse." I wanted to believe him, but as the night wore on and Father O'Connor began his rituals, I couldn't shake the sense of dread that hung in the air. Candles flickered as he chanted ancient incantations, and the temperature in the room dropped dramatically. That's when I saw her. The ghostly apparition of a woman, dressed in tattered white, her eyes hollow and sorrowful. She glided toward us, her ethereal form leaving a trail of mist in her wake. Father O'Connor remained steadfast, his prayers growing louder and more fervent. The room erupted into chaos. Objects flew across the room and a chilling wind swept through the house. The ghostly woman's moans filled the air, and I could feel her pain and anger enveloping us. I wanted to flee, but Father O'Connor urged me to stay strong. For what felt like an eternity, the exorcist and the ghost battled for control of the house. Father O'Connor wielded his faith like a weapon, never backing down in the face of the supernatural onslaught. He recited prayers from memory, brandishing holy water and blessed relics. As the night wore on, my fear turned to admiration for Father O'Connor's unwavering resolve. He fought not just for me, but for the restless spirit that had become trapped in the house. He believed that every soul deserved peace, even in death. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the ghostly figure faltered. Her once powerful presence began to wane, and her anguished cries grew fainter. Father O'Connor seized the opportunity, intensifying his efforts to drive the spirit away for good. And then, in a burst of radiant light, the ghost vanished into the darkness, leaving behind a sense of stillness that I had longed for since I moved into that house. Father O'Connor wiped the sweat from his brow and turned to me, his eyes weary but triumphant. "She's gone," he said, a hint of relief in his voice. I couldn't find the words to express my gratitude. The weight that had burdened me for so long was finally lifted, and I owed it all to this courageous exorcist who had faced the unknown with unwavering determination. As Father O'Connor prepared to leave, he offered me a reassuring smile. "Remember, my friend, there are forces in this world we may never fully understand," he said. "But there are also people like me who will stand with you against the darkness." I watched him go, feeling a newfound appreciation for the mysteries that lay beyond the veil of the living. The ghost was gone, but the memory of that night would stay with me forever. And though I still couldn't fully explain what I had witnessed, I knew one thing for certain. I would never forget the exorcist who had bravely faced the darkness and brought peace to my haunted home. I couldn't believe our luck when my wife Lily and I found our dream home, a quaint two-story house with a white picket fence and a cozy fireplace. The excitement of moving into our new abode overshadowed any sense of unease that I felt when we first stepped foot inside. As the days went by, we settled into our new life, unpacking boxes and decorating the house with love. However, as the sun set each night, an ominous chill would fill the air, and the once welcoming ambiance would be replaced by a sinister presence. Strange noises began to haunt us, eerie whispers that echoed through empty rooms, and the feeling of being watched when we were alone. We'd often hear faint scratching sounds in the walls, like claws searching for a way into our world. Lily would wake up in the middle of the night, her eyes wide with fear. She'd tell me about the nightmare she had, where a dark figure would loom over her, suffocating her with terror. I tried to reassure her, attributing it all to the stress of moving and our overactive imaginations, but soon I couldn't ignore the undeniable signs of something malevolent lurking within our home. Objects would inexplicably move from one place to another, and the temperature would drop dramatically, even on the warmest nights. The atmosphere felt thick with dread, and it seemed to feed off our fear. One night, as Lily and I sat in the living room, the TV suddenly turned on by itself. The screen flickered, showing grotesque images of contorted faces and sinister grins. Our hearts pounded in our chests, and we rushed to turn it off. The remote lay untouched on the coffee table. Enough was enough. We needed help. I remembered a story my neighbor had told me about a renowned exorcist named Father Jacob. Desperate to find a solution, I picked up the phone and dialed his number. Father Jacob arrived the following evening, an elderly man with a gentle smile but piercing eyes that seemed to see through our souls. We led him inside, and as he stepped through the threshold, his expression changed. His features contorted with concern, and I knew he sensed the malevolence that had invaded our home. "I sense a dark presence here," Father Jacob said, his voice solemn. "It's imperative that we act quickly." He began the exorcism, clutching a cross and sprinkling holy water throughout the house. As he chanted ancient prayers, the atmosphere seemed to thicken, and the shadows danced menacingly on the walls. The demon didn't take the exorcism lightly. It fought back, causing the lights to flicker and the floorboards to tremble. Lily clung to my arm, her knuckles turning white from fear. But Father Jacob was unwavering. He faced the malevolent entity with a determination I had never seen before. His faith and strength seemed to act as a shield against the darkness. As the night wore on, the battle intensified. The walls shook, and the house groaned under the pressure of the otherworldly confrontation. I held Lily close, trying to offer her comfort and strength. In the darkest hour, when it felt like all hope was lost, Father Jacob unleashed a burst of divine energy. A blinding light filled the room, and the demon let out a haunting scream. It writhed in agony as if being torn apart from the inside. Finally, in a swirling vortex of darkness, the demon vanished. The air became still, and an overwhelming sense of peace washed over us. Father Jacob had succeeded in banishing the malevolent entity back to the depths of the netherworld. Lily and I thanked Father Jacob profusely for his bravery and strength. As he bid us farewell, he warned us to stay vigilant, for malevolent entities could be cunning, always looking for a way back into our world. In the days that followed, our home felt different. The oppressive atmosphere had lifted, and the nightmares that had plagued Lily ceased. We slowly began to heal, grateful for the peace that Father Jacob had brought us. But we knew we would never forget the terror we had faced. The echoes of malevolence would forever be etched in our memories, a reminder of the darkness that could lie beneath the surface of the seemingly ordinary. And as we settled into our new life, we vowed to cherish the light and love that now filled our home, knowing that together, we could face whatever shadows might still linger in the darkness. I never imagined that my career as a paranormal investigator would lead me to such a haunting place, a decrepit and abandoned hospital known as the Asylum of Shadows. With my camera and audio recorder in hand, I embarked on what would be the most chilling investigation of my life. As I stepped through the rusted gates of the hospital, an unsettling feeling washed over me. The once immaculate building now stood in ruins, its corridors shrouded in darkness. I could hear the faint echoes of footsteps, whispers that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. I cautiously entered the main building, my flashlight piercing through the obsidian darkness. The air was heavy with an otherworldly presence, and my heart pounded with anticipation. The Asylum of Shadows had been known for its sinister past, a place where the mentally ill were allegedly subjected to cruel experiments and unspeakable horrors. As I explored the hospital, I encountered remnants of its haunting history. Patient records strewn across the floors revealed names of tormented souls who had once called this place home. The graffiti on the walls seemed to come to life, contorted faces and chilling messages leering at me. Strange noises reverberated through the halls, the distant sound of laughter, cries for help, and the anguished wails of the forgotten. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, as if malevolent eyes followed my every move. I descended into the lower levels of the hospital, where the darkness grew thicker, suffocating. The chilling aura intensified, and I could feel icy fingers brush against my skin. My camera captured strange orbs of light dancing in the shadows, and the audio recorder picked up faint whispers that sent shivers down my spine. In one of the abandoned patient rooms, I encountered a figure standing in the corner, a patient long gone, but their presence still lingering in this haunted asylum. I tried to communicate, asking if they needed help finding peace, but the entity only stared back at me with hollow eyes before vanishing into thin air. The more I delved into the asylum of shadows, the more malevolent the presence became. Unseen forces tugged at my clothes and whispered chilling threats in my ear. I could feel the hospital's dark history seeping into my soul, its tormented past threatening to consume me. Yet despite the terror, I refused to leave. My determination to uncover the truth and offer solace to the restless spirits drove me forward. I conducted more EVP sessions, trying to communicate with the entities that lingered within these crumbling walls. During one chilling session, I heard a voice, a soft, sorrowful whisper that sent a chill down my spine. "Leave this place," it said, filled with pain and desperation. But I couldn't abandon my mission. I had to face the darkness head-on. The final night of my investigation brought me to the hospital's decrepit basement, the heart of the asylum's horror. The walls seemed to close in on me, and the air was stifling. I knew that whatever malevolent entity remained here was at its most powerful. As I called out, my voice seemed to awaken something truly sinister. The shadows gathered, forming a terrifying figure with glowing eyes. It advanced towards me, and I could feel the oppressive weight of its malevolence. But I stood my ground, my heart pounding, and my mind focused. I invoked a prayer of protection, brandishing a talisman meant to banish evil. The entity screeched in anger and lashed out, but I was not alone. The spirits of the Asylum of Shadows, the tormented souls trapped within these walls, came to my aid. Together we confronted the malevolent presence, channeling our collective energy to push it back into the darkness from whence it came. With a final burst of radiant light, the entity vanished, leaving behind an eerie silence that engulfed the asylum. As I emerged from the Asylum of Shadows, I knew that my investigation had forever changed me. The horrors I had encountered would be etched into my soul, but so would the knowledge that in facing the darkness, we can find the light. The restless spirits of the asylum had found solace, and in a way, so had I. I vowed to continue my work as a paranormal investigator, seeking out the haunted places where darkness lurks. For there, amidst the shadows, lies the chance to bring peace to the tormented souls trapped in between worlds.